Let's move on to sports news. Here's Olumide Macaulay.
Thank you, Ijoma. Welcome to Sports News. The inaugural edition of the Lux of Africa Polo Championship has been concluded at the Ham Polo Club in Richmond in the United Kingdom. The Polo Championships, which brought together the finest international players from across the globe, battled it out for the title of the Best of Africa Lux of Africa Polo Champion, was hosted by Lux of Africa's founder Alexander Amosu. Each year, the event will strive to showcase the different up-and-coming teams from the region, championing the rapidly growing sport in Africa and providing a platform for young and emerging African talent to compete. This year's event was held to raise money for the Nelson Mandela Foundation.
One shot from the center of the field and he drops that one through the goal. Absolutely incredible play there by Oscar Mancini, who is on flying form this afternoon. That is goal number 5. That brings it up to 5.
I went to a few polo events throughout last year, and I felt that it would be amazing to have a celebration of African polo players from different parts of Africa coming to the UK, and for us to have an African Polo Day. And I wanted to put something together that would not only shine the spotlight on African players who are playing here, but also the different clubs, polo clubs in different parts of Africa. And also, more importantly, celebrate the Nelson Mandela Foundation by giving back to an African charity. And that was the key moment. It took absolutely 1 year in total from having the idea, getting a team together. I had to fly some professionals in. But it's been an amazing experience, learning, finding the right clubs, getting the horses, the players. Yeah, it's been amazing, actual experience. I can't wait for next year.
The Nigeria Football Federation has shifted focus to the continental and international tournaments following the resolution of its leadership issues on Monday. NFF President Amaju Pinnick disclosed that the immediate focus of the federation is on the 2019 AFCON qualifiers, starting with an away game against Seychelles on September the 7th and games against Libya in October and against South Africa in November. He also affirmed the title holders, Super Falcons, will not be left out in its plans ahead of the Women's Nations Cup in Ghana in November. Pinnick adds that the 2019 Under-20 and Under-17 AFCON championships built for Niger Republic and Tanzania will be the fulcrum of its youth football development. Liberian President George Weah is to award his former coach Arsene Wenger his country's highest honor. Now, President Weah, the only African to have been named World Player of the Year, was signed by the Frenchman in 1988 when he coached Monaco. Wenger, who stepped down as Arsenal manager in May after 22 years, nurtured several African stars. The president retired from football in 2003 and went into politics. He won last year's election by a landslide. Liberia's information minister says the 68-year-old is expected to be in Monrovia for the award ceremony on Friday. And that's where we'll leave it on Sports News. On the news at 10, Ijoma will be back just now.
Thanks a lot, Olumide. South African authorities say Cape Town's dams have reached a significant milestone in an ongoing battle against severe water shortages. Now, water levels at the dams have broken the 60% mark for the first time since the drought struck parts of the Western Cape province 3 years ago, placing much of the feared zero out of the picture. It had raised fears Cape Town would be the first city on earth to run out of water, causing widespread panic among residents. This time last year, the dam levels were sitting around 30%. Software giant Microsoft says it's thwarted attacks on 2 American conservative think tanks in what the corporation says is evidence that the Russian government is trying to influence the upcoming November midterm elections from both sides of the political spectrum. The 2 think tanks are the Hudson Institute and the International Republican Institute. Microsoft says a hacking group with known ties to the Russian government was trying to redirect visitors to the sites to fake versions designed to look like the real thing. Russia, on the other hand, says it does not understand the allegations from Microsoft. U.S. President Donald Trump's former campaign chief, Paul Manafort, has been found guilty on 5 tax fraud charges at his trial in Virginia. He has also been convicted on 1 count of failing to disclose foreign bank accounts and 2 bank fraud charges. The jury reached a verdict on 8 of the 18 charges, but failed to do so on the remaining 10. The trial of Manafort, a veteran Republican operative, is the first stemming from the special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation of Russia's role in the 2016 U.S. election. In a related development, President Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, has pleaded guilty in the Manhattan court to violating campaign finance laws. Mr. Cohen's admission was related to money paid to Mr. Trump's alleged mistresses. The 51-year-old admitted 8 counts, including tax and bank fraud, in a plea deal with prosecutors. The nature of the reported plea deal is unclear, and his sentencing is scheduled for December the 12th. And the main news again. Muslim faithful in Nigeria today joined their counterparts in other parts of the world in observing this year's Eid al-Kabir. Also today, President Muhammadu Buhari restated his commitment to ensuring food security in Nigeria as he prayed with other Muslim faithful in his hometown of Daura, Katsina State, to mark Eid al-Kabir. And tech giant Microsoft today claimed it was thwarted Russia's attempts to launch cyber attacks against U.S. conservative groups, but Russia denied the allegations. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Do enjoy the rest of your holiday. Good night.